But then Orton walked through the shot and into the arena, and they went to the break because he's got something to say. And that's a good time for us to go to commercial. And when they come back, amazingly, he hadn't said it yet. And he called Owens out. And Owens came out, but the officials are out there and said, no, no, no. And Owens says, F it. And he runs to the ring and he rolls in and they get in a fight. And the agents are in and the referees are in. And Owens gets the advantage on Orton for a second and gives him a pile driver. And to be completely honest, it was one of the worst pile drivers. It was a sloppy pile driver. His head came nowhere near the mat. And I think part of the problem may have been Owens used to do a package pile driver in Ring of Honor. That was his finish, where he would double underhook the guy's arms and pick him up that way and jump and drop. But Orton is not only a grown man, he's overgrown. And I think he was too big for Owens to do that to. But he gave him a pile driver, but Orton sold it, and the announcers went ape shit. And they said the pile driver's been banned, and they called for the EMTs with a stretcher. And they brought the backboard out, and Orton's hand was shaking. It was like when you have a neck injury. And Cody, Orton's friend, came to the ring. And they stayed with this. Orton got loaded onto the stretcher. They were treating the whole thing seriously. They got the pile driver over in one segment when nobody's done one because of that. We've talked about the goofiness where they eliminated the tombstones and the pile drivers and moves like that because people might get hurt and they still allow people to dive off the top to the floor and go through furniture. But in this case, because they haven't seen one for so long, and then they did one, and then they treated it seriously, and the replays were from an angle where you couldn't fucking tell, and the camera followed Orton all the way to the ambulance, and the ambulance out the back door, and the announcers after the break, they came back, they were still selling it. This is the way you do it. And it's a pile driver. And when they find somebody besides Owens that can really give a good one, then it'll be deadly because a big star sold it. But then this is what I say when I talk about how AEW and these indie promotions do a disservice to the entire business as well as their own, because the fans who saw this and are now like, oh shit, the pile driver. Holy crap. They'll watch the AEW show next week, and some 150-pound grade schooler will get spike pile driven on a fucking chair on a table, and he'll get right back up in 30 seconds.
No, there were several videos that went around after this, and everyone agreed that it was incredibly well done. It was a really strong angle. The comparisons between something in AEW and this, and there were multiple examples of just guys, whether it's the Canadian Destroyer or just nonstop tombstone pile drivers, and they mean nothing. Nothing even means a pin. Means nothing. And here, now you have lots of questions about what's going to happen next, and now it means something. The next time someone even teases a pile driver, it'll be Owens. The next time Owens teases a pile driver,
yeah,
people will know how to react to it.
And it's the same thing we did in Smoky Mountain Wrestling in 1992 when Paul Orndorff came in. That was his finish, but the pile driver was illegal in Smoky Mountain Wrestling because it was illegal in Tennessee wrestling because actually Nick Goulas had the Tennessee Athletic Commission back in the 60s make it a rule the pile driver was illegal. So the announcers weren't lying. And so we wouldn't let Orndorff use his finish. And finally, he went nuts and just said, fuck it, and pile drove 5 people in the same angle. And everybody was laid out and goddamn, crying and whining and selling. And it made it look like a fucking scene of chaos. And that's the way you get any move over. It's not that difficult. It's elementary. It's been done millions of fucking times in wrestling. Except in indie wrestling where nothing matters, and what if it did? So anyway, a great segment here, and it's something that Orton can sell.